Hi, welcome back to the channel. When most people think of Aphrodite, they think of beauty. But in ancient mythology, Aphrodite represented far more than physical appearance. She was associated with attraction, charm, love, confidence, pleasure, desire, and personal power. Thousands of years later, her name is still recognized across the world. And that raises an interesting question. What was it about Aphrodite that made her so captivating? Today we're exploring 7 timeless lessons inspired by Aphrodite that can help you cultivate a more magnetic presence in your own life. Let's begin. Secret 1. Beauty was only part of her power. One of the biggest myths about attraction is that it comes entirely from physical appearance. While Aphrodite was known as the goddess of beauty, her influence extended far beyond how she looked. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever met someone who was undeniably attractive at first, but became less appealing the more you got to know them? Maybe they were arrogant, negative, selfish, or constantly seeking attention. Now think about the opposite. Have you ever met someone who became more attractive over time? Perhaps they were kind, confident, funny, intelligent, or simply had a presence that made people feel comfortable around them. That is because attraction isn't just visual, it's emotional, it's energetic, it's psychological. The way you make people feel often leaves a much stronger impression than your appearance ever could. If you want to become more magnetic, don't focus exclusively on trying to perfect your looks. Work on your presence, develop your confidence. Learn to listen when people speak, become genuinely interested in others. Take care of your appearance, but remember that magnetism comes from the complete package, not just the wrapping paper. Aphrodite reminds us that beauty may capture attention, but presence is what creates lasting attraction. Secret 2. She embraced pleasure. Aphrodite was strongly associated with beauty, art, flowers, fragrance, music, and the enjoyment of life's pleasures. In many ways, she represented the ability to fully experience and appreciate life. This lesson feels especially important today because so many people live in survival mode. We rush from one task to another. We're constantly checking notifications. We're worrying about the future or replaying the past. Many people spend years waiting for happiness rather than creating moments of it. Yet one of the most attractive qualities a person can possess is genuine enjoyment of life. People are naturally drawn to those who seem alive, not because they're perfect, but because their energy feels light, present, and appreciative. Think about someone who lights up when talking about a hobby they love, someone who notices a beautiful sunset, someone who gets excited about small things. That energy is contagious. To apply this lesson in your own life, start creating small moments of pleasure every day. Wear the perfume you've been saving, buy yourself flowers, listen to music you love, take a walk somewhere beautiful, drink your tea from the nice cup instead of the chipped one hiding in the back of the cupboard. These may seem like small things, but they teach your mind to appreciate beauty rather than constantly searching for what's missing. Aphrodite reminds us that magnetism often begins with learning how to enjoy life. Secret 3. She knew her worth. One of the most attractive qualities a person can possess is healthy self-worth. Notice I said healthy self-worth, not arrogance, not superiority, not believing you're better than everyone else. Self-worth is simply recognizing that you have value regardless of whether other people approve of you. Many people unknowingly hand their self-esteem over to strangers. A compliment makes them feel worthy. A criticism makes them feel worthless. A text message makes them feel loved. Being ignored makes them question everything about themselves. This creates emotional instability because your confidence becomes dependent on circumstances you cannot control. Aphrodite's mythology reflects someone who understood her own value. She didn't wait for permission to exist. She didn't require constant validation to know who she was. A practical way to strengthen self-worth is to start paying attention to your inner dialogue. How do you speak to yourself when you make a mistake? How do you speak to yourself when you look in the mirror? Would you talk to a friend the way you talk to yourself? If the answer is no, then it's time to become more conscious of that voice. The relationship you have with yourself sets the standard for every other relationship in your life. Secret 4. She attracted rather than chased. This is perhaps one of the most misunderstood lessons associated with Aphrodite. Many people hear the phrase "don't chase" and assume it only applies to dating. But the lesson is much broader than that. Some people spend their lives chasing approval, chasing validation, chasing attention, chasing acceptance. And the more desperately they chase, the further those things often seem to move away. Aphrodite represents attraction rather than pursuit. She inspires. She draws people in. She doesn't force. Now, this doesn't mean sitting at home doing nothing and expecting life to magically improve. It means focusing on becoming rather than chasing. Instead of chasing confidence, build confidence. Instead of chasing approval, develop self-respect. Instead of chasing attention, create a life that genuinely fulfills you. When you become deeply invested in your own growth, something interesting happens. You stop appearing needy, and people naturally respond differently to that energy. Magnetic people are often focused on their own purpose, passions, and well-being. Their attention isn't constantly fixed on whether other people like them, and that freedom itself becomes attractive. Secret 5. She understood the power of charm. Charm is one of the most underrated skills in the world. Many people assume charm is something you're either born with or you're not, but much of charm can actually be learned. At its core, charm is about making people feel comfortable, valued, and appreciated. Think about the most charismatic people you've met. Often they aren't the loudest person in the room. They aren't necessarily the most attractive either. What they do exceptionally well is make others feel seen. They listen, they smile, they show genuine interest, they remember details, they make people feel important. These are simple behaviors, but they create a powerful effect. If you'd like to develop more charm, start by becoming genuinely curious about other people. Ask questions, listen without interrupting, maintain eye contact, put your phone away during conversations, be fully present. The truth is that most people are so busy trying to be interesting that they forget to be interested. Aphrodite reminds us that genuine connection is often far more powerful than trying to impress people. Secret 6. She balanced softness and strength. Many people view softness and strength as opposites, but Aphrodite demonstrates that the two can exist together. She was associated with beauty, love, and femininity, yet she also possessed influence, confidence, authority, and power. In modern culture, people sometimes feel pressured into extremes. They believe they must be either soft or strong, gentle or powerful, kind or confident. but real magnetism often comes from balance. You can be compassionate and still have boundaries. You can be warm and still command respect. You can be kind and still say no. One of the most powerful things you can do is stop apologizing for having standards. You do not need to become hard in order to protect yourself. You simply need to become clear about what you will and won't accept. People who combine warmth with healthy boundaries often create an incredibly magnetic presence because they are both approachable and respected. Secret 7. Her magnetism came from within. Perhaps the most important lesson of all is this. Everything we've discussed today ultimately begins inside. Confidence, self-worth, charm, and presence aren't things you find in the outside world. They are qualities you cultivate within yourself. Many people spend years searching for something external that will finally make them feel attractive. A new hairstyle, a relationship, more money, a different body, a different life. And while those things can certainly be enjoyable, they rarely solve the deeper issue. Because if someone doesn't feel worthy internally, they often continue feeling insecure no matter how much changes externally. True magnetism comes from self-acceptance. It comes from recognizing your value. It comes from treating yourself with kindness and respect. It comes from understanding that your worth is not something you earn. It is something you already possess. Aphrodite's lasting influence wasn't simply about beauty. It was about the energy she represented. An energy of confidence, pleasure, self-respect, connection, and personal value. Although Aphrodite belongs to ancient mythology, the lessons associated with her remain surprisingly relevant today. Beauty may attract attention, but presence creates connection. Enjoying life makes you more radiant. Self-worth changes how you carry yourself. Charm creates genuine bonds. Healthy boundaries earn respect. And true magnetism begins within. Perhaps becoming more magnetic isn't about becoming someone else at all. Perhaps it's about recognizing your value, embracing who you are, and allowing that confidence to shine through. Thank you so much for listening. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments which Aphrodite lesson resonated with you most.
Aphrodite, goddess of love, beauty.